This is JP Vionsek
And Mickey Kilmartin.
on midlife muscle and strength.
And today we're talking about our mission statements and what we stand for as coaches and athletes.
Mickey, how we doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm in the DVC man cave.
Jeez,
I don't know if you can see it.
this
You can see some of it. Kids' toys over here, dad's stuff over here
the
on the wall.
laboratory. Just
That's right. How are
testing
you?
athletes. I'm doing great. On a little vacation, South Carolina, getting my vitamin D in.
Oh, you're not
No,
home. I didn't even
no,
realize
no.
that. You're just out.
Out and about in the world.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. So I wanted to start this.
It was actually pretty hot up here. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say it's actually pretty hot up here today. It was like 80, so I
Really?
was feeling like you with the sun and the sunshine
Yeah,
today
down south,
in New
down
Hampshire.
south weather. So we just want to start with how do we meet? How do we meet, Mickey? What was your first memory of me?
My first memory of you was at actually I have two. I have a memory of you now not seeing your face because I had seen your name on the CrossFit Opens leaderboard numerous times in my competitive years 2012, 2013, I think, for the Opens. This is going way back a decade. And I knew your name, didn't know how to say it. I was like Wiensek, Wine. I didn't really know how to
It's
say it.
very,
And
very difficult.
And then I met you for the first time in person, saw you at CrossFit Free during it was like a Saturday comp
Got
day,
it.
I think. Maybe it was a Sunday where it was just a throwdown with like 15 to 25 people, all just absolute mayhem in the days of the early days before we had gone to CrossFit Free to go as a team. That was like my first
Yeah.
time seeing you and remembering you, just remembering that just absolutely stoic figure, this monster of a human.
Very, very familiar thought I had about you when I saw you there.
Oh, thank
It's like,
you.
man, he's so ripped. How how do you get so lean? Lean machine.
I'll tell you what, it was not eating enough, that's for sure.
I think I saw you eat donuts and I was so jealous. I was like, man, he looks that good and eats donuts. I eat a donut,
It's
I
a
blow
blessing.
up in 2 seconds. My arthritis kicks in.
Now, yeah, yeah, all the sugar
Yeah.
and gluten yeah, who knows what's actually in Dunkin' Donuts? No
No,
one really
no.
knows. It's like
Mystery.
styrofoam. Did you now my question for you is in terms of when you started going up to CrossFit Free and all that to work out on those, did you plan on doing what we ended up doing going team, or that just kind of happened organically for you?
I planned on going team. I was a coach at CrossFit Wicked before that, and we went the team year before. And I was looking for like kind of up my training in different training environment. So I chose to kind of move up there to train with like just a different caliber of athletes. So and then that's kind of how I got up to CrossFit Free. So
Yeah.
yeah, but
It
we
was the same for me. It was the same for me. I kind of got sucked into the environment up there with, it was like it just kind of had a vibe of like everybody was pushing really hard, which I didn't have at my gym where I was at CrossFit Iron Will, which I loved those guys, but it just wasn't the same. So I was kind of searching for something more, and that's kind of how I ended up
yeah
there. And then kind of in a lot of ways that changed like my whole life because I ended up meeting my wife there and so many other things. So it was, it was a bit
yes
fortuitous the
yeah
way it all
no
played out.
that's good. So what was some of the movements or not movements, but what fitness experience did you have before starting CrossFit? Like what were you into?
So, kind of a lot like you, I was just kind of a sports guy growing up. I played baseball and soccer as a kid, was big into soccer, so that kind of took over, and I played soccer pretty much year round from age like 14 up through high school. And then after that, went to college and played at Springfield College in Western Mass, and had a good time there. I was a captain for a few years and enjoyed myself and took it really seriously, even though it was Division 3. I kind of took it as a job and was really into the strength and conditioning portion of it. I had some really good strength and conditioning coaches there who, taught really well and emphasized the importance of it. And that kind of sucked me into the idea of getting better at sports through like the weight room and what you did outside of the field. And then after soccer was over and I graduated, working out became like my way to get, get out that energy that I didn't have an outlet for anymore on the field. And then kind of fell into CrossFit by accident. And then that sort of consumed me because of that competitive sort of side of it. And then, like I said, I sort of wound my way through, went to regionals a few times with CrossFit Iron Will, which was really fun. And then the CrossFit landscape was changing a bit and becoming more high level. And I knew I needed to sort of specialize who I was training with and what they were doing if I wanted to get back to regionals or higher. So that's how I ended up at CrossFit Free, because I met Brandon through like a local comp, and he kind of just encouraged me to go up there because he had a bunch of good athletes. And then kind of, like I said, found myself up there every other weekend for a few years until we went to regionals in 2016.
Yeah, no, that's great.
How about you?
I was, obviously playing sports my whole life, a bunch of different, track star, and then, got into lifting. I started lifting because of lacrosse. Lacrosse was my big sport. Played high school All-American. Then went to college, played at Binghamton University in upstate New York. And then while I was in college, I got into CrossFit, probably 2007. So early parts of CrossFit, which was really funny to see CrossFit change. It was just like body weight, not a lot of barbell work. And then, which wasn't my strength. So I suffered through all that. And then it started getting heavier in the comps. I did, started doing better. And then just started, I'm always trying to find an edge. Division One was kind of a job, which I really enjoyed, and always was in the weight room. I enjoy the workouts more than I enjoy the games. And then same with CrossFit. Like, I think I enjoy the training way more than I enjoyed competition. But, and then always try to ramp up, and then, brought us together, training together, for a team. But, did you go to Free to be on the team, or did you go to be an individual? How'd that work out for you?
I So similar to you, I just went up there to train because I was just looking for something else, for people to train with to push me. And then I started to be there like every other weekend, Brandon talked to me. And he just kind of asked me if I was interested in it. And I looked at the team that I was on before, and I knew that they didn't have a chance really to go to regionals, just the way that it was playing out. And again, nothing against them. It was just the way that it was. They all had jobs and things like that. They couldn't dedicate enough time to it. I was single and just kind of doing my thing. So I just took the chance, and I started driving up there every Friday night and staying Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so I could train enough days to like count towards the team, because you had to have, I forget what it was, like X amount of training days to count.
Yep.
So I think in like the fall of 2015 or something along, whenever it was, like about almost exactly a year from the opens is when I like made it my plan to do that. And then I just kind of committed to it and started, making the trek every weekend and training there as often as I could to make sure that I checked that box in case we ever got like audited in terms of my number of days going.
Right.
So I didn't get busted by HQ for all that.
Well, I'm glad you survived.
Well, and also I liked spending time with you guys. I mean, I became really good friends with everybody on the team, so it kind of worked out. It was a good bunch of people to like be
Right.
with and hang out with. So I enjoyed it.
No, we spent a lot of quality time together.
A lot of QT, a lot of ice cream, sandwiches, Red Robin.
Yeah.
So now my question for you is, like, fitness journey wise, coaching thing, was that, being a trainer, being a coach, did you coach at Wicked when you were there in the early years? Were you a coach or just an athlete?
So I started coaching probably 2008 or 9. As soon as I got out of
So early.
college, or even when I was in college, I was coaching. Strength and conditioning. I did an internship for strength and conditioning at the school. And my coaching started because I liked helping people. Like, I just saw someone in the gym, they looked confused. I had a bunch of athletic experience. I've been lifting since I was been 13. So I just, had at 23, I had 10 years on someone. So I just, I always liked helping the people who just didn't have the confidence, ask a question, or, so that's kind of how my coaching started. And I just gave basic information. Hey, try it this way, do this. It wasn't anything complicated. But it just, that's how I got into coaching. And it was I think it's an advantage. I don't know if it's an advantage being in the gym that much. I think it's nice to have, now looking back on it, I think it's nice to have other outlets like a job or, something to kind of separate you from that. Because I spent, started work at 5:30 in the morning, worked, until midday, trained myself, stayed in the gym at night. So just a lot of time in the gym, which I really enjoyed. But I think it kind of led to probably a burnout quicker than maybe if you have an outlet like teaching or a
Hmm.
different job kind of brings you away from it a little bit.
Sort of like separate the
Yeah.
things. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. So you've been in the coaching game way longer than I kind of like fell into it sort of by accident. It never was really a goal for me. Maybe selfishly in a way, I programmed for myself a lot like over the years, and I put together workouts and different things for myself. Probably starting in like 2015, 2016, I dabbled in it a little bit. Then I started to like fully program for myself, just training wise, like 2017, 2018. So only like 6 years ago, 5 years ago. Um, but I never like thought about coaching other people, like as something I really wanted to do until some people reached out to me and just saw stuff I was doing, or maybe I posted it on social media, or they see me doing it in the gym and they asked me questions about it, or asked me like, "Hey, can you put a workout together for me?" Can It just really was like sort of happened like a slow drip sort of thing. And then what actually ended up happening is Danny Oliveri, she's a really good athlete right now in the CrossFit world. She went to semis on her own, and now she's on a semis team this year. She reached out to me and just asked me to straight up coach her, and I was like, I've never coached anybody, like especially no one as good as you. And then I started coaching her and kind of just like flying by the seat of my pants, using what I knew and kind of like the mistakes I had made in the past through CrossFit and other things that I overdid or underdid or things I missed, and tried to use that experience to help her. And then it sort of just snowballed, and it just over time more and more people reached out, and it just kind of, like I said, snowballed organically. I never made it like a thing I really really was wanting to do until I liked it doing it more and more, and it just sort of grew on its own, and then kind of landed me here with Dabon Chronicles, and something I didn't intentionally build, but it's now happened all of a sudden on its own. Kind of blew up in my face.
Yeah, but I think it's great that I love that what you said is you learn from your mistakes or you kind of built on what you were successful at. And
Oh, hold on one second.
yeah,
Hold on one second.
that's
Hold on
all
one
right.
second. Sorry. Stop. Pause. Record. Pause. Record. Allie. Hey.